Where do you get your ideas for the interactive notebook?
Pinterest. So many of the ideas come from Pinterest. In fact, when I look up things on Pinterest, they might not be related exactly to the topic that I want to teach, but the way that the foldable is presented breaks it down in the same way that I'd like to break down my topic. So for instance, I go on Pinterest and I might find something that is not related at all to anything I want to do, but they've managed to break down their topic into, let's say, 4 sections. So then I'd say to myself, hey, I need a foldable that can categorize or summarize this concept in 4 different ways or 4 different representations. So I use my own content, but the way it's represented, I look for ideas off Pinterest in terms of the foldables or which foldable type would be most advantageous for this type of lesson. So that I kind of have to put in myself. Some things I create on my own, like the function slider. I created that one on my own. But yes, I do get a lot of my inspiration from Pinterest.
Is this your first year to set up your class like this? And if so, what made you decide to take such a big leap into an interactive class in general?
This is my first year doing interactive notebooks. I do try to incorporate interactive elements within my classes as much as possible, but what made me go to interactive notebooks this year is because in previous years, it was pretty much, okay, here's the lesson for today. I would give them the guided notes, I teach the lesson. We would have interactive practice, like we would do graded practice questions. We use technology often, so that hasn't changed. But I kind of felt like the students weren't seeing how the topics connected. It was almost like I'm teaching a brand new thing every day, and they don't see how yesterday connected to the previous day. Like they just weren't making that holistic connection. Every day was a brand new lesson, and they weren't able to see that connection. So I figured since we don't have textbooks, why don't I have the students build their own textbook as they kind of go along? And so they can kind of see how everything connects, how it all summarizes together. So it's not, I'm doing inverses from equations one day, and now I'm doing inverses using a graph. I can make one foldable with all those topics and tie them in so they can see how it's all connected. I don't have to cover the whole thing in one day, but the way that it's presented does impact how kids sort of think about it in their minds. I don't want them to think of things as completely separate topics, separate lessons. I wanted them to make better connections, and so I thought an interactive notebook would be a good way to kind of link concepts together so they can see the progression.
For this activity, what we're going to do is we're going to be using this foldable, which if you go in your yellow folder on the right side, I want you to take out the plus sign shape. Yep, perfect. Which and then you can hold it up when you have it. Okay, so if we start with the range in the middle, we're going to start here. You can't see the graph at all. We're going to go to the top. So tell me when.
So what I would like you guys to do is open up the folder at your station, and all of you can type out the set of index cards, so every person gets their own set of index cards.
So now we just
don't split up the set. And take out a capital.
From -4.
So in each folder is
-4 to 4. Perfect. All right. So now if you guys should have letter J
there's only 2.
on your
Does any other group have
There's only
extra
like 1 or
index
2.
cards?
So just you guys work as a table to figure out what the domain and range is of that much.
Next card. We're going to reset everything, so if you could put your A back in 1.
And then where does it
Put
go
your H
to?
in 0. And put your T in 0. We just wrapped that
And then
function.
you do the
What
same
is
for
that
range. You know how
function?
to do it.
Oh, not the index card.
You're doing a great job.
Open up